Now, you might think that for a white man, a Jewish white man from New York, to participate in the African American church service in South Carolina, you might say that that took chutzpah, but not the authentic chutzpah of Yiddish, that Americanized, kinder and gentler chutzpah. Ain't necessarily so. And the congregation responds, it ain't necessarily so. The things that you're liable to read in the Bible, it ain't necessarily so. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you take that melodic motif, including the congregational response, and you set those words to it, that, ladies and gentlemen, is chutzpah. So if someone should tell you that George had chutzpah, you can nod your head knowingly, yes, he did. But if someone tells you Ira didn't, you look them square in the face and you tell them it ain't necessarily so. My father was a storyteller, and storytelling is easy. But then again, my mother was not a storyteller. And while it's easy to tell a story, it's hard to tell a hug. Well, I was 4 years old, just a little guy, and I was 17 when I went off to college. And I didn't get home to visit very often. But when I did, I would come in that front door and my mother would be right there waiting for me, and she would put her arms around me and she would hug me and she would start crying and her whole body would shake. I would put my arms around her and I was understanding. We were having our first child, baby Ben. And that following spring, when Mother's Day came around, he was 5 months old. Now, Mother's Day for me had never been the same. And yet this was a special Mother's Day. It was going to be my wife's first Mother's Day, and it was Ben's first Mother's Day. I was home with baby Ben, and he was a little cranky, so I lifted him up, and I had him on my shoulder, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, here's this baby who is completely dependent on me. He can't even lift up his own head, and yet, I love this baby. I love this baby without reservation, without condition. I love this baby. And I realized that's how my mother loved me. And for the first time, I realized what that hug meant, and I cried out loud, "Mom, I didn't understand. I'm sorry, I didn't understand." And I wish there was some way I could tell you just exactly what that hug means, if I could find the words. But it's like I said at the beginning, it's easy to tell a story, but it's hard to tell a hug. Finally, they finish a song, and they send it into the publisher. And then they get the rejection letter. And they set to work again, writing another song. And another rejection letter. And they write another song. They wrote more than 75 songs together. Never had a single one published. Never made a dime. My father was an electrician, supervised the maintenance shop in this factory or that office building. But when anybody asks, I tell them my father was a songwriter. I want to sing you one song that Tony and my father wrote. I used to worship the ground you walked on. I loved each topic you talked on. Now we're you through. The little worm is gonna turn on you. I just took the initiative to find someone who's appreciative, but I'm gonna haunt you, tease and taunt you. I say